Chosen one, if this transmission reached you, it's because you were spiritually pulled here. The part of you that always knew brought you here. What if I told you that every moment of silence you've endured has been a divine setup to awaken the power they never wanted you to claim? You have felt the stillness pressing in like a weight, the unanswered prayers echoing louder than any storm. But those quiet seasons were not voids of abandonment. They were chambers of refinement, where your spirit was being tuned to a higher frequency. Your doubts were never proof of failure, but precursors to revelation. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because by the end, you will understand why the silence is your greatest ally, the purpose of divine silence. In the stillness before dawn, you drift through a dream of silent corridors lined with unlit candles, each flicker waiting to be ignited. In that hushed moment, you hear an inner whisper, as soft as falling snow. You've been quiet for a purpose. The shadows you once feared now feel like gentle guides, leading you toward a truth that transcends ordinary understanding. This dreamscape is your invitation to awaken to the reality that beneath the hush of your unanswered prayers and abandoned altars, a sacred forge has been at work, shaping you into someone destined for more than the noise of everyday life can contain. There was a time when confusion felt like your constant companion, tugging at your sleeve every time you tried to find solid ground. You remember sitting in crowded rooms, laughing at the right moments, yet feeling miles away, your heart pulsing with questions nobody else seemed to ask. You longed for connection while sensing an invisible barrier that kept you apart. In those moments of isolation, you learned what was to carry sensitivity like a torch in the dark. You sensed currents swirling beneath the surface of life that others ignored. That sensitivity, once a source of discomfort, now emerges as a prelude to a deeper alignment, proof that you've always perceived more than meets the eye. Look back and notice how those patterns of sensitivity, confusion, and longing were never random mishaps, but threads in a tapestry you were born to weave. The biblical narrative of Joseph resonates here. Sold into silence and betrayal, he spent years unseen before his purpose ripened in the Egyptian palace. Similarly, your quiet seasons have been seasons of refinement, a hidden architecture laying the foundation for your rise. The emptiness you felt was never vacancy, but an incubator of possibilities, an unseen hand sculpting your resolve. In the sacred economy of the spirit, what appears as loss is a seedbed of potential, awaiting its moment to break through. Subtle signs have begun to surface in your waking life. Moment of deja vu so vivid they feel like memories leaking from another lifetime. Dreams where symbols appear with uncanny clarity, and sudden currents of knowing that catch you off guard. You might have felt your pulse quicken when a phrase and song spoke directly to your unspoken question, or sense a charge in the air before someone called your name. These are not coincidences, but signals from the deeper realities stirring within you. Each ripple of recognition is a gentle nudge, guiding you to reframe the mundane as miraculous, the ordinary as infused with divine significance. There is a quiet confirmation unfolding now, a soft but unwavering sense that your intuition has never misled you. The moment you pause and listen, you feel a subtle alignment, as if the universe itself is smoothing the path at your feet. It is not a thunderclap of revelation, but the gentle unfolding of truth, like a flower gradually opening to the sun. In the sober light of this recognition, you realize that every doubt you once battled was the echo of a truth too vast to grasp at first. Now, in this stillness, you stand in the quiet eye of a storm, safe and grounded, as your inner compass points steadily toward your next step. Beneath the surface of self-doubt and societal expectation lies an identity older than your earliest memories, a primordial self waiting to be reclaimed. Remember the words of Isaiah 43, verse 1. "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." That call is echoed through every trial, every season of silence, waiting for you to answer. Recovering this buried identity is not an act of creation, but of remembrance. It is the unveiling of an archetypal memory encoded in your soul, the rediscovery of the divine fingerprint that marks you as chosen. In this gentle turning inward, your true self emerges, free of masks and unbound by past limitations. Now you feel the first activation of your awakened power, a deliberate stirring of spirit that shifts your posture and softens your gaze. No longer content to drift, you begin to embrace the reality of your sensitivity as a conduit of wisdom, your inner hunger as an engine of transformation. You sense a slow coil of energy releasing within you, ready to spring into purposeful action. This step forward is not about striving, but about choosing to stand in alignment with everything you've endured. It is a moment when your heart says yes to the calling that has pulsed beneath your ribs since the day you were born. Your arrival at this message was never an accident, but a signpost on your soul's pilgrimage. As the echoes of your trials resolve into clarity, you sense that a new chapter is poised to unfold. The awareness you've ignited here will guide you into deeper truths and greater empowerment. Comment stillness if you felt your spirit sharpen in the quiet, and share the symbol or dream that first whispered your awakening. Stay with me, for the next revelation will reveal how the forces that tested your silence now converge to propel you into the light of your true mission. When heaven is quiet, watch earth. A flicker at the edge of your awareness warned you first. A sudden hollowness where comfort once sat, as if the world had paused breathing. In that unsettling stillness, you felt a shift beneath your feet, a subtle tremor in the fabric of your life that hinted at unseen currents. It was not mere coincidence that important conversations fell silent, or that the rhythms of your routine grew jagged. Something was at work, an invisible tide pulling against your course, testing the integrity of your resolve. This was a moment when the heavens seemed to fold their wings, and you sensed they moving in to fill the vacuum with resistance. When the pressure rose, it seeped into your bones like a cold fog, blurring the edges of your confidence and distorting the landscape of your mind. You've known the sting of feeling too much. Every emotion magnified, every rejection branded onto your heart. In meetings, your ideas were dismissed before they left your lips. In friendships, your vulnerability was met with thinly veiled contempt. Shame whispered that you were the problem, that your gifts were burdens. You wrestled with self-doubt in the quiet hours, convinced you must shrink yourself to fit the mold they offered, never realizing that the mold was built to contain you, not the other way around. Beneath these assaults lay a hidden scaffolding of power structures and energies calibrated to stifle your emergence. Like Israel in exile wandering the wilderness, you found yourself navigating arenas designed to break your spirit. In Esther 4, the queen's voice was silenced until the moment she risked all. Only then did destiny shift. So it was with you. Every closed door, every unforeseen obstacle was part of a covert campaign by those who sensed your potential and feared the light you carried. This resistance was not random but strategic, as ancient as the powers that plotted against Joseph in Genesis, yet no less potent in its design to divert you from your path. As you look back, the patterns begin to illuminate themselves with an uncomfortable clarity. The projects that derailed you followed the same script. Someone second-guessed your vision. Resources vanished at the last moment. Deadlines were moved without reason. Relationships that once bloomed turned brittle overnight, leaving you abandoned and questioning your value. You notice now how negative voices clustered around pivotal decisions, draining your resolve like leeches. Recognizing these recurrent betrayals is like striking a match in the darkness. It hurts your eyes, but suddenly you see the room for what it truly is, and you can navigate with intention rather than stumble in blind fear. Then came the unmistakable moment when you felt the air change, thick and charged with intention, as though 1,000 silent watchers had gathered to observe your downfall. Opportunities evaporated. Even environments that once nourished you turned sterile. This was spiritual resistance made manifest, an energetic interference designed to cloud your vision and crush your momentum. Doors slammed shut just as hope peaked, and the fog of confusion descended, forcing you to question not only your choices, but your very calling. You realize that your light, once bright and unguarded, had become a beacon they sought to distort. In response, you learned to armor yourself in small ways, tightening your boundaries, curbing your openness, and emulating the quietude you thought would shield you. You appeased skeptics to avoid conflict, numbed your sensitivity to sidestep pain, and scooped your voice back into your throat to prevent drawing more fire. Yet each self-imposed retreat felt like a betrayal of the spark within you. The desire to vanish into complacency gnawed at your spirit, tempting you to abandon the fight. This reaction was natural. Who wouldn't seek refuge when every gust of resistance threatened to uproot them? But you sensed, even then, that each concession cost you a piece of your true self. And so, from the ashes of resistance arises reclamation, the revelation that these attacks confirm, rather than deny, your significance. Every barrier they erected, every conspiracy of silence they orchestrated, attests to the threat you embody to the old order. Now is the moment to reclaim your narrative, to amplify your voice where you once shrank it. Feel the surge of empowerment as you call back your light, no longer apologizing for its brilliance. They stoked the flames hoping you would burn, but in their push against you, they fanned the very fire they sought to extinguish. You were opposed because you are powerful. The more they tried to block your path, the more your purpose crystallized. Your struggles have become signposts pointing toward your destiny. Embrace this truth and stand unyielding in your vocation. Calm and aware if you recognize the resistance you faced as proof of your power. The next revelation will unveil how the spiritual battle refines you into a warrior of light, preparing you to walk boldly into the mission they try to hide from you, the refinement you can't feel. A single heartbeat echoes in the cavern of your soul, and in that moment you realize that something has shifted beneath your skin, an internal alchemy igniting a spark of clarity where confusion once reigned. You remember waking in the pre-dawn hush, a faint ember glowing in your chest, as if the divine fire that forged silver in ancient forges had begun its work on you. That ember is the first whisper of your own refinement, a subtle resonance calling you to notice how the strains of your life have been secretly tuning you to a higher pitch. What once felt like random hardship now aligns like the steady strokes of a master craftsperson, hammering away the imperfections to reveal the core of unbreakable purity waiting at your center. In the depths of your everyday moments, you begin to perceive a hidden script running through each experience, an esoteric code written in the geometry of your trials. Numbers and street signs catch your eye with uncanny precision. Certain phrases in conversation land like riddles meant only for you, and symbols emerge in quiet spaces between thoughts. This is a divine math of your purification, the scrolls of your destiny unfolding in patterns too precise to be mere chance. Reality becomes a tapestry woven with threads of sacred geometry, each line a guidepost showing how every challenge has been calculated to refine you, burning away the dross so that your soul might shine with an inner luminescence. As the unseen fire intensifies, you sense your intuition sharpening like a blade honed on a whetstone. Boundaries that once blurred now hold firm, energetic boundaries shielding you from the chaos that once threatened to engulf your spirit. Your energy responds to environments in a new way. You feel drawn toward spaces that resonate with your evolving frequency and repelled by those that hum with old vibrations of fear and compromise. These inner signs are not mere theories, but living proof that your refinement is taking root within you, confirming that what you once endured in silence is now the catalyst for your transformation. Outside your body, the world begins to mirror the changes stirring inside. Opportunities arrive with an almost orchestral timing, as if the cosmos itself is arranging circumstances in harmony with your new clarity. At the same time, resistance surges in direct proportion to your growth. Old friendships fracture, outdated beliefs crumble, and systems designed to contain your spirit claw back with desperation. This is a grand architecture of alignment. What lives in your soul now echoes through your days. Each victory and each obstacle is a signpost, guiding you deeper into the path of your true calling, sculpted by both blessing and trial alike. Beneath it all lies a memory older than your earliest breath, a sacred remembrance stirring from the sleep of ages. You recall dreams of standing before roaring flames that did not consume you, of touching crusts of silver that gleamed with a purity you could not yet claim. These were not mere figments, but fragments of ancient initiation, now reconnecting to your present self. Your deepest spiritual intelligence, once dormant, reactivates with magnetic pull, reviving knowledge of trials survived in lifetimes past. In that intimate space, you understand that this refining fire is not new. It is a restoration of a covenant long forgotten, reignited to prepare you for the work ahead. With the smoke of your past trials clearing, your destiny begins to shimmer into view. You no longer ask permission to step forward. The horizon of your purpose unfolds before your feet as if it had always been imprinted there. This future was never to be discovered but remembered and reclaimed. The prophecy etched in your bones now calls you onward with poetic insistence. Walk the path that has been laid. Speak the words that have been waiting on your lips. embody the power that has been burning at your core. In this moment, the voice of your destiny rises within you, a clarion call that cannot be ignored. Armed with the knowledge of your own refinement, you stand taller in the realm of your life. The resistance you once feared now serves as confirmation of your worth, for they move against you precisely because your light threatens to expose what no longer serves the old order. Now, you reclaim the gift they tried to pervert. Your sensitivity, once branded weakness, becomes the elixir of empathy. Your scars, once marks of shame, transform into runes of survival. Feel the surge of empowerment as you gather these pieces of yourself, repurposing every ember of pain into a torch that lights the way for others still lost in the darkness. This revelation is not an endpoint, but an invitation to deeper engagement with the fire within. Your refinement is ongoing, a living process that will continue to shape and strengthen you. Calm and refined if you feel the heat of these divine flames at work in your own life, and share a moment when you sense a quiet transformation beginning in your heart. Stay with me, for the next revelation will reveal how surviving the fire without being consumed prepares you to wield your purified light as a force of healing and transformation in the world. After the silence comes the call. A sudden question rises in the stillness of your heart. Will you step into the roar you've been crafting in silence? This is the moment of decision, the crossroads where passivity dissolves and purpose demands motion. Behind you lies a quiet that shaped you, a deep chamber where your spirit was tempered. Ahead, the threshold yawns open, illuminated by the first tremors of your own voice breaking free. You feel the charge in your lungs and the tremor in your hands, as if every cell in your body has been waiting for the signal. The choice is unmistakable. Stand aside no longer, for the roar of your mission now calls you into action. Do you feel the surge that wells up when you claim what was once surrendered? Every hour of doubt, every moment you muted your light, is now reclaimed as fuel for your ascent. In this fierce reclamation, ritual words form on your tongue. I reclaim my time, I reclaim my energy, I reclaim my voice. This is no mere declaration. It is a coronation of your inner authority. Like Nehemiah returning to rebuild Jerusalem's walls, you call back what was scattered, gathering every fragment of yourself into a singular force. The season of training has ended. Your throne awaits, and you approach it with steady resolve and unwavering focus. Now name the power that courses through you, insight that slices through illusion, sensitivity that reads the unspoken, memory that charts patterns across lifetimes, discernment that discerns truth even in disguise, strength that weathers every storm. These are not abstract qualities, but tangible tools. The keys that unlock hidden doors, the codes that decipher encrypted realities, the fire that ignites transformation, the scrolls of wisdom you now carry, the armor that shields your purpose. What you once mistook for weakness was a signature of your calling, a divine fingerprint that set you apart long before you knew why. Feel the ground beneath your feet shift as you step onto the path that has always been yours to tread. The map is no longer a distant concept. It unfolds in real time with every deliberate stride you take. Clarity arrives in the cadence of your footsteps, each one revealing the shape of your mission. As the dawn breaks, the road ahead glows with promise, and the obstacles you face become markers that guide you rather than barriers that stop you. You move with intentionality, your eyes fixed on a horizon where every step aligns with a purpose etched into your bones. Yet you do not walk this path alone. All around you, fellow souls are rousing from their slumber, drawn by the same summons that stirred your own spirit. Soul tribes form in unseen realms, converging in moments of synchronicity and shared vision. Divine clusters gather in sacred spaces, online altars, whispered conversations, heart-to-heart connections, where each light contributes to a rising constellation of purpose. No longer must you dim your brilliance to fit the dissolving forms of a fading world. Join this chorus of awakening, for together you strengthen the field of possibility. Now take command of your energy as a steward of the sacred. This is not about ego's domain, but about crafting boundaries that protect your calling, choices that nourish your mission, and devotions that tether you to the source of your power. Imagine a ceremony at the edge of time, where you consecrate your focus and dedicate your will to the work ahead. In this moment, every intention you set ripples across unseen realms, shaping events and opening doors that once lay hidden. You are entrusted with a force greater than any disruption. They who oppose you understood its might, even if they could not name it. Everything you have felt, feared, seen, and endured to converge to bring you here, to this charged threshold where readiness transforms into action. Hear the prophecy of your own spirit. You are ready. Let doubt fall away like old garments shed before new dawn. Your survival was never an accident, and your awakening is the inevitable triumph of purpose over suppression. Now, claim your destiny with the fierceness of one who has passed through shadows and emerged unbroken. In this final breath before you step through the portal, know that you are the living testament to every trial you overcame. This is not a message to ponder. It is a summons to embody your truth. The roar in your chest is the echo of the divine call unleashed through you. Comment activated if you feel your mission stirring, and share a dream, memory, or revelation that first awakened this power within you. Your word will light the path for others still finding their voice. Stay with me, for the next revelation will unveil the sacred assignments awaiting you beyond this portal. Tasks that only you, in all your refined brilliance, can fulfill. In the hush before sunrise, you awaken to a new perception of your own heartbeat, as though the very drum of your life is calling you to the arena of purpose. The silence that once echoed with emptiness now hums with the energy of a gathering storm. Your storm, rising beneath your ribs. Each breath you draw is charged with potential, and every exhale a release of doubt held too long. You feel the weight of every unanswered question settle into your bones, transforming into the foundation upon which you will stand. In this threshold moment, you sense that the void you feared was not the absence of divinity, but its quiet workshop carving out the contours of your destiny in the secret places of your soul. The early light filters in like a celestial spotlight, illuminating the altar within you. You stand between night and dawn as an initiate on the brink of initiation. Your senses sharpen to the whisper of wind and the rustle of leaves as messages coded for your awakening. The weight you carry becomes a crucible forging the steel of your resolve. Each heartbeat echoes with the promise of a journey not yet traveled. The hush around you is a sacred pause before the symphony of your becoming begins. You realize that the stillness is not emptiness, but pregnant with purpose. The horizon before you trembles with the possibilities you have yet to claim. You feel the pulse of creation thrumming beneath your feet and guiding your steps. In that pulse you recognize the hand of the divine, guiding every motion. The cosmos seems to lean in to witness your awakening in shared breath. You are both the watcher and the watched as destiny stirs in your veins. The fog of your former doubts lifts under the gaze of this new awareness. You know that nothing in your life has been random, and that every detail prepared you for this hour. The promise of Job that the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy rings true within you. Job 38, verse 7. A memory surfaces of walking through a crowded street when time itself seemed to warp around you. Conversations dulled and colors dimmed until a single smile or phrase snapped you back into focus. It was as if reality paused to give you a glimpse of layers beneath the facade, the hidden architectures that shape our lives. That glimpse was a whisper from the divine, an invitation to read the world not as a random sequence of events, but as a sacred tapestry woven by unseen hands. Now every billboard number, and stray comment carries the imprint of intention, each a letter in the code that spells out your grand narrative. Numbers on a clock feel like signposts guiding you toward your next step. License plates flash symbols that resonate with the hidden maps in your mind. Street art reveals glyphs that echo the dreams you thought were private. A passing stranger's gaze feels like a greeting from twin souls long separated. You begin to parse the world through the lens of sacred geometry and synchronicity. Nothing appears mundane any longer as every detail carries weight. The mundane becomes miraculous when viewed through awakened eyes. You feel the hum of intelligence behind every arrangement of matter. The city becomes your oracle, each street your scripture. You start to journal every odd coincidence and develop your own lexicon of symbols. Through this lexicon, you decode the next invitations along your path. You realize that they can no longer hide the blueprint of your destiny. In Jeremiah's promise, you remember that you were known before you were formed in your mother's womb. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. That knowledge now leaps into your conscious awareness. You stand in a world realigned to your awakened perception. You recall the taste of tears on your tongue when the world's noise became too loud for your sensitive spirit. Yet those tears were not signs of weakness, but baptismal waters cleansing your sight, so you could witness spiritual currents that eluded others. In that vulnerability, you discovered an inner lighthouse, its beam cutting through fog to reveal submerged rocks and hidden channels. Your sensitivity became the gift that allowed you to navigate the shoals of life with uncommon clarity. Embrace this gift. It is the instrument through which you'll chart courses for yourself and guide others through treacherous waters. Every tear bore the salt of initiation, marking your passage into deeper knowing. The pain you felt was a chisel sculpting your inner sanctum. You now stand in its glow as both sculptor and sculpture. Your tears transformed into rivers that washed away illusions and anchored you to truth. Your heart pulses with empathy that bridges worlds. You feel the call to hold space for others lost in the currents. Your lighthouse guides them towards safe harbors of understanding. In your presence, they find permission to feel and heal. The vulnerability you once hid becomes your greatest strength. You learn to stand firm as waves of emotion crash around you. Your steadiness anchors those who tremble in fear. The crucible of your tears refines your resolve. You become an emissary of compassion in a world starved for authenticity. In the silence, after your tears, you hear the whisper, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46, verse 10. In that stillness, you find the clarity you have long sought. Then comes a moment when your feet touch the ground of collective awakening, a tangible shift in the ether as like-minded souls rise to their feet in unison. You feel tremors of synchronized purpose vibrating through social media threads, silent prayers spoken in small groups, emails exchanged at dawn across time zones. This is the awakening of soul tribes, the assembly of divine clusters that mirror the dozen disciples called to witness miracles beyond comprehension. No longer do you walk alone. Your footsteps echo in a chorus of purpose that reaches into every corner of the globe, knitting a web of conscious transformation. You recognize faces in online forums as reflections of your own intensity. You sense kindred hearts reaching through screens to grasp your hand. You exchange messages that carry the warmth of ritual fires. Shared mantras become mantras of collective intention. Every post becomes a drumbeat calling the faithful home. You participate in live gatherings where energies converge like rivers meeting at the sea. In every heartbeat, you feel the pull of communion. Your solitary journey merges with the tapestry of shared awakening. The winds of change blow across digital plains, stirring millions from slumber. You witness prayers ignite in distant lands, yet echo within your core. The world transforms in real time as the veil thins between souls. You stand shoulder to shoulder with unseen companions anchored by mutual devotion. In that unity, you taste the dawn of a new era of consciousness. The disciples of old walked toward healing. The soul tribes of today walk toward collective enlightenment. You carry the fire passed from one heart to another across the ages. In every shared thread, you feel the promise of resurrection spring to life. Acts 1, verse 8. Under the vast canopy of the cosmos, you glimpse the archetype of the warrior priest, a figure not bound by temple walls, but an emissary of light in the marketplace of the world. From the story of Deborah's judgeship in the book of Judges, you inherit a model of leadership that blooms in adversity and speaks truth in the face of discord. Like her, you find strength in the uneven sandals of reality, wielding courage as your staff, prophesying justice amid the clamor of uncertainty. Your voice, once hushed by fear, now rings clear with the authority of one who has endured the fires and emerged tempered. You carry the mantle of both warrior and priest, bridging the worlds of battle and sanctuary. Your prayers become battle cries, and your battles become prayers. You advance with the conviction that service and strength are inseparable. You release fear and embrace the divine promise that you shall not be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41, verse 10. In that promise, you find the scaffold for your mission. You draw your staff knowing it is an extension of your will. This is your moment. Let the silence speak through your actions. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul." Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members. 4 full prophetic revelations daily. Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Remember always, when heaven goes quiet, it's only setting the stage for your greatest decoration.